Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I have a lot of very interesting videos on the way. In the first update of the day, this is a recent update from Charles the Definition Griffen. And Charles and Blessing actually exchanged a few words recently. If you guys haven't seen my last video, you should definitely check it out. Very interesting. But Charles placed second to Blessing Awodibu at the Indy Pro, and he would go on to win the Cali Pro. So Charles Griffen is qualified for the 2022 Mr. Olympia. And Charles Griffen said on his story more recently, he is now a believer. You know, winning the Cali Pro, he actually believes that he can come into the Mr. Olympia and do pretty well. So I guess Charles may have had a little bit of doubt before. And these are also, I believe, 1 week after the Cali week of Charles Griffen, who looks incredible. And, you know, I compared him to Nick Walker at the Mr. Olympia, and I feel like Charles stacked up well to that specific version of Nick Walker. You know, but Nick is constantly improving, and as I said, Charles Griffen is looking at maybe placing 8th to 10th this year, and Nick Walker could potentially win the show. So, you know, I understand that they aren't in the same boat, but that particular version honestly was a great comparison. If you guys haven't seen that, definitely go check that out. Now, the next update of the day, this is just a small update from Blessing Awodibu. As I said, you guys definitely have to check out the last video. This beef is pretty interesting, but Blessing is just saying he's practicing his vacuums and he's practicing his front leg spread. He actually said he wanted to do the Cali Pro, but I guess George Farrell advised him against it because he was a little bit off in New York compared to the Indy Pro. But Blessing is stirring up things in the bodybuilding world, you know, guys. Things are getting very interesting. So do you guys like the antics of Blessing Awodibu, you know, or do you guys think it's a bit much? I think he can do it a little bit more now because he's won 2 pro shows. You know, he has a better physique. In the past, when he didn't have the best physique, it was a bit irritating, but interested to hear you guys' thoughts. And in the next update of the day, this is a recent physique update from Ramon Rodriguez, who is honestly just looking mind-blowing. This doesn't even look real, in all honesty. Justin looks skin-bursting full here. But I feel like after Justin's last 2 showings, a couple of people may try to write him off, you know. But as the whole bodybuilding world pretty much knew, Justin had been prepping for a very long time, so his body just wasn't looking the best. But Justin looks incredible in these 2 shots, guys. Like, I'm very excited to see him at this year's Mr. Olympia. Him and Steve Kuklo are leading the way in points, and they are very high up. So it's a good chance they could get there. But it is possible that some of these guys could compete, and they may have to hop in the show to get to the Mr. Olympia. Now, the next update of the day, huge shout out to Buys and Tries over on Instagram, who do a great job of covering bodybuilding news. Big Ramy told Dan Solomon he will be ready, he will win number 3, and he will show the world in December, which is very great to hear from Big Ramy. As you guys know, we was pretty much unsure if Ramy was even going to compete at this year's Mr. Olympia. And Dan Solomon said, I had a phone call today with our reigning Mr. Olympia. I was impressed by his intensity, by his hunger, by his focus. Once again, huge shout out to Buys and Tries on Instagram. They do great work over there, guys. But honestly, it's great to see that Ramy's head on straight. You know, hopefully this is real because Ramy goes through a lot of, you know, I'm back, guys, and then he disappears, and then I'm back, guys. I'm not really into it too much. I'm just hoping that, you know, Ramy's healthy, Ramy's able to compete. And, you know, he did say he could potentially stop competing at age 38, which would be next year. But just wanted to update you guys on Big Ramy. Now, the next update of the day, this is a recent physique update from Petar Clancier. I wonder, did Petar watch my videos? He's now taking his shots at straight on angles. But Petar will be competing at the Mr. Big Evolution in Portugal. And he just came off a 5th place placing at the Cali Pro. He honestly looked pretty good. But he looks like he has a little bit of muscle imbalance within his legs. So I'm guessing he probably had a leg injury. But the sweep on the opposite leg is just insane. So if he's able to bring his other leg back up to the size of the leg that's a little bit bigger, he would definitely look incredible. But I'm excited to see this guy hop on a bodybuilding stage. Now, another guy that's also going to be at that Mr. Big show is going to be Vlad Sukaruko. And I believe he placed 3rd at last year's Europa Pro behind Nathan D'Asha and Rolly Winkler. And he arguably could have beat Rolly Winkler. As you know, Rolly was gifted a couple of places last year. I feel like, you know, he came in not the best condition. But this guy did qualify for last year's Mr. Olympia, I believe. Not 100% sure about that. And I think he wasn't able to make it there because of travel restrictions. But if he did qualify, he was definitely very high on the list. But I'm almost 100% certain that he qualified for last year's Mr. Olympia. So excited to see those 2 battle it out. On the next update of the day, we have a guest posing from Coach Greg Doucette. Now, I'm pretty sure I've never mentioned Greg over here on the channel, but Greg is a guy that I've been watching even before, you know, I started my channel. You know, Greg actually helped me quite a bit. But I'm pretty sure you all know who he is, and if not, go over to his channel, Greg Doucette. Greg is a former IFBB pro. I believe he's about 46 years old right now, maybe 47. And Greg honestly looks incredible. He did a posing at the Canadian Physique Alliance, I believe. Kind of a weird name, but actually look pretty good here. You know, Greg is retired and he's still looking pretty conditioned. And of course, his triceps are lacking a little bit. I believe he's had some injuries and even had some tricep surgeries. But I did want to share this with you guys. It's interesting how all of these different bodybuilding channels, you know, we all have different stories that we find important. But to me, this is a story that I find important, so I definitely want to share it with you guys. Now, the next update of the day, we have a recent physique update from Carlos Thomas Jr., who won the last NPC Nationals. And on the left, he said he was 240 pounds. He wasn't pushing any gear, wasn't really taking any food. He was in a recovery phase. And on the right, he is 263 pounds. So he has put on 23 pounds. And from what I remember, Carlos was working with Patrick Tour. I'm not sure if they still work together now. And he was also working with Cash Guidry. Cash is a great in-person trainer. I've seen him train Logan Franklin as well as Sadiq Hadzovic. Pretty good guy. But what do you guys think about Carlos Thomas Jr.? You know, after the NPC Nationals, a lot of people were looking at him as pretty much the next big thing. Outside of him needing to drastically improve his back, taking nothing away from him. Incredible, guys. He already probably had some of the best set of arms in the IFBB. And I was actually questioning, could he, you know, possibly compete in 212? But this guy is 263 pounds, guys. But I'm excited to see Carlos Jr. hop on stage sometime soon. And Carlos, post more updates. The fans want to see them. And the last update of the day, once again, this isn't a recent physique update from Ramon Dino. But Ramon is just posting a lot lately, you know, keeping his fans updated, which I like. And I'm missing this classic physique division once again, guys. This physique of Ramon Dino is just incredible. And the more I see it, it's just like the more that it grows on me. I feel like for Ramon's physique, he isn't missing anything. But just to be competitive with the top guys, he's going to need a little bit more back density and he's going to need a little bit more hamstring. I don't necessarily think any of those areas are weak, but when we compare him to Chris Bumstead, Terrence Ruff, and Urs Kalasinski, maybe not Urs Kalasinski in the back area, but you know, as far as like the hamstring, gluteus, all of those guys have extremely thick glutes and hamstrings, which the classic physique seems to like. You know, for instance, we could be in a back double bicep pose and they match up even on everything. But the guy next to Ramon has these huge peeled hamstrings, you know. But that's just my take on that. As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video, man. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's free. I'm Christian from Go Fitness. Click one of these videos up here, guys. Keep it going. Watch something else. I'm out.